Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend the Momo Fanfics, back with the amazing fanfiction. This is series A What If Deku Fight with Beerus. I'm sorry Mrs. Midoriya, your son has a useless quirk, the doctor said as Izuku sat there with his little All Might action, shocked and wide-eyed. What? Can you please explain? Mrs. Midoriya asked, just as shocked as her son was. We ran a number of tests on your son, all came back positive for a quirk, but he displays no real power. In these blood tests we took, we found an anomaly in this blood. In all my years of being a doctor I never seen this type of cell. Along with white, red, and platelets, he appears to have a special type of cells. I have no idea how he got these cells, but what I do know is that it is unique only to him. There is no record of anyone else having this type of cell. I assume that this is his quirk, this type of cell, the doctor said, trying to make Inko understand without making the situation worse for her son. With a sad expression on her face she asked, well, what do we do now? It has been his dream to be a hero, will he still be able to be a hero? The doctor looked at her. As to what to do now, I've sent a sample of his blood to a lab where they can do future tests. And to your second question, turning his attention to Izuku with a sad expression looking down at the floor, he continued, I'm sorry son, but no, you can't become a hero. This broke Izuku. When he got back to his apartment he didn't say a word to his mother. All he did was walk up to the computer and began to look up All Might rescue videos. After the video had finished he turned around to find his mom was behind him waiting for him to say something. With tears in his eyes he asked, can I still become a hero if I have a useless quirk? Having no words, all she could do was run up to him, wrapping her arms around him, pulling him close. She held onto his small body and started to cry. Only thinking to herself, I'm sorry, Izuku, for not being able to make your dreams come true. Izuku decided if people told him he couldn't be a hero then he would just have to be a hero without a quirk. After this he began to become obsessed with quirks and the heroes. He would get to know everything about their powers, weaknesses, and overall stats. He began to write down famous heroes' names and take notes on how they used their power. Izuku will become a hero with or without a quirk. He would show everyone that he could do it. 10 years later, now in this final year of junior high middle school, Izuku decided to do the best he could to become a hero. This meant training. He began to wear 10 pounds or 4.5 kilograms wrist-mounted weights during his workout session, which consisted of push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice. He started back in this first year of junior high, so he had built up a decent amount of muscle, not a lot but enough for people to notice that he worked out. Alright you little parasites, I know it's the end of the year and you are all looking forward to the summer break, but don't forget that you have to start thinking where you will go to high school, his homeroom teacher said, trying to calm his class down. Since you all have dreams of becoming heroes, I would think you will all be aiming to get into UA. Hey teach, don't throw me into the same category as these losers. I'm way too strong, I'm too out of their league, Bakugo said while having his legs kicked up on the desk and leaning back in the chair. I will be the only one in this stupid school to get into UA, mark my words. Oh yeah, Izuku also wanted to get into UA if I'm not mistaken, isn't that right Izuku? This teacher looked down at his clipboard. The whole class turned to look at Izuku. Bakugo sat back upright at this news, who started to shoot eye daggers at him, all the while causing a small explosion in his palms. Yes, that's true, he said as quiet as a mouse. This only enraged Bakugo, placing his palm hard down on Izuku's desk, causing an explosion. I thought I told you before, Deku, you have no power, no quirk, you're useless. Why don't you just jump off a building and die? Maybe you'll get a better quirk in the afterlife. After saying this, the whole class erupted in laughter, all knowing how useless Deku's quirk was. But it takes a lot more than a quirk to become a hero, Izuku said while covering his face with a notebook out of sheer embarrassment. Plus it's not like you will ever make a good hero, not with that attitude, he tried to say under his breath, but Bakugo heard it. What did you say, you piece of shit? As Bakugo lunged toward Izuku ready to blast him across the room, the final bell had rung and school was now out for summer vacation. Grabbing Deku by the collar, "You better watch yourself, Deku, if not I'll do this to you." Grabbing Izuku's hero notebook he had on his desk, he proceeded to burn it. Just then something inside Izuku snapped. He felt an anger that he never experienced before. Something felt like it was crying out, almost roaring inside him. "No!" Izuku yelled as to pushed Bakugo, making him let go of his collar, and with a swift palm strike to the chest he was able to actually knock Bakugo a couple feet back. The look of shock on Bakugo's face said it all. In all the years of bullying and abuse that Izuku had taken, he never fought back, not even once. He was a kind person and never one to fight. With the initial shock of actually being knocked back, Bakugo said nothing as he dropped the notebook, as he walked out of the class. "What was that? I never felt so angry before, and how did I get so strong? Yes, I am working out, but I shouldn't be able to push Kachan back." Izuku thought on his way back to his house. He decided to take the shortcut home, which meant he had to go under the bridge that no one ever went under. To his surprise, a villain appeared from inside the sewer system. He was completely made of a dirty green sludge. Before Izuku couldn't react in time, the villain began to wrap around his body. "Don't worry, kid, it will all be over soon. I just want to borrow your body, kid, nothing personal, but I need to host if I want to get away from him," the slim villain said while laughing. "Well, I guess this is where it ends, huh? I am sorry, Mom, but I just don't have what it takes," Izuku says, closing his eyes and accepting his fate. No sooner than when he closed his eyes he heard someone yell, "Evil containment wave." Soon the sludge villain was surrounded by a green swirl of energy. The sludge villain dropped Izuku before he got caught in the wave. Snapping his eyes open, Izuku could watch as he hit the ground hard. "What is this?" the sludge villain said as he being pulled towards a small container with a seal that read, "Demon Seal." As soon as the villain was inside the container, a cork was placed and picked up by a small, bald, old-looking man, who wore sunglasses, that had a turtle shell on his back and a thick white Fu Manchu mustache and beard. "Well, that was a close one," said the old man as he said, walking up to Izuku, who was still trying to catch his breath. "Thank you so much, sir. If you haven't showed up when you did, then I would probably be dead," Izuku said while bowing as a surprising speed. "Don't mention it, kid. Come on, let's get out of here before the heroes get here, and don't worry about him," pointing at the container. "He won't get out unless someone opens it. I should probably leave a note explaining that." "Come on, kid, we should get out of here before the pros arrive. I got just the place where we can talk," he told Izuku. As he followed the old man who just saved his life, he noticed that he was taking him to Dagoba Municipal Beach Park, which was always covered in trash. Izuku just remembered that he didn't know this man's name. "Excuse me, sir, what's your name?" asked Izuku. The old man stopped right at the shoreline, turned around and said, "My name is Roshi, and what is your name, boy?" "Izuku Midoriya, sir," said Izuku, standing up straight. "Midoriya, you don't really look like a Saiyan to me. But I sense a great deal of untapped battle power within you," said Roshi, eyeing Izuku up and down. "A Saiyan? What is that? And what do you mean untapped power?" "Like a quirk? That can't be right since I don't have a quirk." Izuku was trying to get answers but wasn't getting any. "In time I tell you all you want to know," but for now I'll tell you this, with some training you can become a hero. I haven't seen this much potential in someone since my past students. What I'm saying, son, is that you too can become a hero. Izuku was not ready to hear those words, but how he longed to hear them. Izuku couldn't hold back his emotions anymore. He fell to his knees, as he started to cry uncontrollably the moment with his mother began to play in his mind. All these years there was finally someone who actually believed in him, that he too can become a hero. After a few minutes of collecting himself, he asked Roshi, "When can I start?" Master Roshi smiled. "I like your enthusiasm, kid. Meet me here tomorrow. I'll start by answering all the questions you might have. Till then, go home and rest." Training. Master Roshi told Izuku to go home and meet him tomorrow morning to talk about training and to answer some of the questions he had. Once home and enjoying dinner that his mom had made for him, he decided to go to sleep early to prepare for tomorrow. Dagoba Municipal Beach Park. Izuku walked up to the beach but quickly noticed something. He's not here. He told me to come back here today. Where is he? Turns out he was her, but a little preoccupied watching some woman jogging. But before he could approach Master Roshi, he saw the woman slap Roshi across the face and walked off. Women today have no respect for the elderly anymore. "She didn't even let me see her panties," said Master Roshi with a big hand print on his cheek, walking up to Izuku. "What? No wonder she slapped you. What are you, some kind of pervert?" Izuku thought. "Well, Izuku, I know you a lot of questions and you want answers, so go ahead and ask," said Master Roshi, putting down his staff and sitting down on a broken refrigerator. Izuku only had 3 questions for Master Roshi. "All right then. First, what is a Saiyan? Second, what is this power you said yesterday? Third, can I really become a hero with this power?" said Izuku, looking at Master Roshi dead in the eyes. The first 2 questions go hand in hand. A Saiyan is an alien warrior race who long ago conquered planets. Obvi Sally, to do this you need power, and Saiyans are powerful. This is where you come in. Someone in your bloodline was a Saiyan, most likely your father, which makes you a half Saiyan. Saiyans also have a strong control over ki, other known as life force energy. Every living thing has this ki. If you are able to draw out your ki, then you can use that for offensive and defensive purposes. Example. Master Roshi extended his arm out and opened the palm of hand towards the direction of a pile of trash. Suddenly a bright ball of yellow energy began to appear. Izuku was mesmerized by this. He's never seen anything like this before. A second later, Master Roshi forced the ball of energy away from this hand and towards the trash. Once it made contact, the trash was vaporized. Izuku could only stare at what he had just witnessed. "If I can do that, then I could be a hero too." Turning back to Master Roshi. "And there you have it. You have the potential to his and much more. And to answer your final question, yes, I will train you, for when the day comes you will become the greatest hero. But getting results is completely up to you," Master Roshi said, getting up and placing his hand over Izuku's shoulder. Without a second thought, "Yes, please train me. I'll do whatever it takes." Izuku knew this was his chance to become a hero, so he immediately accepted. "When do we start?" asked Izuku, eager to get started. "Right now, but first put this on," Master Roshi said, pulling out a giant green-colored turtle shell that had 2 straps like a backpack. Izuku was a little more than confused, but he had no reason to refuse. Taking the shell, he noticed that it was heavy. "How much does this weigh?" asked Izuku, struggling with the weight. "About 50 pounds or about 23 kilos. This will help you increase your strength as well as your endurance during workouts," said Master Roshi. "Right now as you are no stronger than your average human, but with my training you will shatter the human barrier." Simply put, you will become superhuman. You have 9 months until your entrance exam, so we have no time to waste. I will have to teach you how to draw out your ki, said Master Roshi, clearing out an area for them to sit down on the sand. Now sit down, I'll teach you how to use your ki. Izuku sat down right in front of Master Roshi. Now relax, use your emotions to draw out your ki, feel your energy within you. It should feel like a warm sensation. Once you find it, grab onto it and focus on bringing out this energy within you, instructed Master Roshi. Closing his eyes, Izuku did what he is told. Only seeing black, Izuku focused. Remember everything that has happened to you, what they have done to you. All the bullying, teasing, and abuse. What is that? A light. It's so warm. That has to be what Master Roshi meant. All I had to do was grab it and focus, then bring it out, Izuku said. He felt it, power rising from his core and running towards his hands. This was it. Suddenly a small ball of green energy began to form in his hands. Master Roshi, look, I did it. And on my first try too. Izuku said, excited at what he just did. This kid, I would never have guessed that he would have done so soon, on his first try no less. I may have underestimated his potential, thought Master Roshi, impressed. Perfect, remember that feeling, that is your energy. Now let's call it today, but be ready, for the next 9 months are going to be hell for you. Izuku got up as the ball of energy disappeared from his hand. 5 months until entrance exam. It has been 4 months since Izuku had started training with Master Roshi. To the surprise of Master Roshi, Izuku had already had a mastery over ki control. Now it was time to teach Izuku hand-to-hand combat. Listen kid, since you are half Saiyan, you have the natural ability to grow stronger after every fight. I'll teach you pressure point combat, karate, and jujutsu and various other forms of martial arts. Train your body and the stronger and greater ki will become. And if I see you can master these fighting styles, I will teach you a move that took me years to perfect. Izuku would spend the remaining time training his body. His body had to keep up in order to be able to handle his increase in power. 1 month before the exams. Izuku was tired, very tired. Even at school it was hard for him to stay awake. Master Roshi decided it was time to move on to martial arts training, so this meant a lot of sparring, 2 months to be exact. With the giant turtle shell on his back, it made his movements limited, but was getting used to the added weight. It didn't help that Master Roshi decided to teach Izuku his ultimate move, which puts more strain on his body. Man, I have another sparring match against Master Roshi today. This is going to suck, said Izuku, getting ready to leave from his classroom. Izuku was stopped at the doorway. There stood Kachan, his bully. Damn it, here we go again, thought Izuku, knowing what was about to happen. Deku, you useless crap. How dare you apply to UA? You have a useless quirk and you think you can get in. Don't even think about showing up or else you will regret it, yelled Kachan, letting off an explosion that knocked Izuku into the wall. Izuku got up, glaring at Bakugo. Oh, what's this? Deku is actually going to fight back. Bakugo mocked him, sparking small explosions in his palm. Izuku gritted his teeth, looking down at the floor in defeat. That's what I thought. The weak should just shut up and listen to the strong, Bakugo said as he walked out of the classroom, leaving Izuku to his own thoughts. Damn it. After all that Master Roshi has done for me, I still can't stand up for myself. One day, I promise Kachan, I will show you that I'm not useless anymore, Izuku thought as he slammed his fist into the wall, causing a crack in the wall. 1 week before the entrance exam. All right Izuku, time to test yourself. If you can land a single punch to my face, then you win and I'll let you take the week off. Deal? said Master Roshi, preparing himself to fight. Deal, responded Izuku in a fighting stance. Ha. As a green aura began to form around Izuku, he felt his power rise higher and higher. He engulfed Izuku like a flame. He was ready. Izuku charged at Master Roshi. Throwing a punch aimed for his head, Master Roshi saw this coming from a mile away. Rookie move. Seeing that this was not going to work, Izuku changed up his attack. He would go for an attack from above. Disappearing from Master Roshi's line of sight, he jumped and with a hard kick aimed down. This caught Master Roshi off guard for a second but smiled quickly after. Going for the quick change. I see, but it's about 200 years too early for you to try to take me head on, Master Roshi thought while dodging Izuku's attack with ease. Izuku was rapidly throwing punches at Master Roshi but none of them connected. Damn it! Why can't I hit him? He's too fast for me, Izuku thought as he felt a sharp pain in his neck. In an instant he was knocked out cold. So much potential. I'm sure you are watching Goku. He reminds me of you when you were a child. This boy I think will one day surpass you, Master Roshi said, holding Izuku in his arms. Izuku, wake up, called out an unknown voice. Huh, who said that? Izuku said, looking around suddenly but noticing that he was surrounded by nothing but a black void. I must have been knocked out by Master Roshi again. He's too strong for me still. I'll never be able to be a hero if I can't even beat an old man. Izuku was mad at himself for not being strong enough. Hey, enough of that, you're still a kid, it's only natural for your power level to be low, said a man wearing an orange gi with a blue undershirt, but what was most surprising was that he had a halo on his head. Who are you? Asked Izuku curiously. Hey there, I'm Kakarot, but you can call me Goku, and I'm one of Master Roshi's past students. Goku said, smiling at Izuku. It's nice to meet you, Goku. I'm Master Roshi's current student, said Izuku, also smiling. Oh, I know. I can see you training from the other world. Man, you are a natural. I can't wait to see how strong you'll become. I bet you will even surpass me on day, Goku said, showing his excitement upon meeting someone like Izuku. Other world? What do you mean? And why do you have a halo ring above your head? Izuku said, mumbling out. Oh, that's easy, I'm dead, Goku said with all the calm in the world. Dead? What? Then how are you talking to me? Wait, does this mean I'm dead? Oh god no, there's still so much I had left to do. Go to UA, be a hero, kiss a girl. Izuku couldn't help but panic mumble. Hey, take it easy, you're not dead, just unconscious. Since I'm dead I can't talk to you directly, but I can enter your mind when you are unconscious. Listen, I don't have much time left, so I keep it simple. I also see great potential within you and I believe one day you will become stronger than I ever was. So I'll give you the tools you need to make that happen, Goku said, placing his hand on top of Izuku's head. Suddenly a yellow glow began to surround Izuku completely. What is this? Ki. It's so comforting and warm, Izuku said, shocked at what was happening. After a few seconds the glow faded away. With a sigh Goku removed his hand. There you go, kid. What I just did was give you the last of my remaining ki, and with it all the techniques I've ever learned and some I've copied from my friends in my lifetime. But I must warn you, some of these moves can be dangerous, so use them wisely. Goku began to fade away slowly but surely. Huh, so this is it then? Well, I'll see you later, Izuku. You got a lot of talent, don't let it go to waste, be the hero you always wanted to be. Oh, almost forgot, you should wake up soon. See you later. And with that Goku had disappeared. That was interesting to say the least. I don't feel any different, but it does feel like I learned new moves, I'll just try them out later. White light began to fill the blackness within the void. Izuku was waking up. To his surprise he was still at the beach. Noticing that the sun was now setting, he sat up and looked around. God, how long was I out for? It's already late afternoon, Izuku asked, rubbing his neck. You were out for 5 hours, Master Roshi's voice said. What 5 hours? But it felt like 5 minutes. Izuku thought to himself, confused at the time. So, you got talking to Goku, and judging on your ki, it looks like he left you a parting gift. Ah, Goku, always trying to help, even in death you never change. Master Roshi gets up and walked towards Izuku. All this time I could have been chasing the ladies, but now that Goku helped you out it made my training less meaningful. That's not true, Master Roshi. You helped me train my body to handle my new powers. Not only that, but you also helped me learn various forms of martial arts. So please don't say this was all meaningless. Izuku looked at Master Roshi. He has that same spark in his eyes as Goku had all those years ago. Thank you, Izuku, that means a lot to me. Now, I know you must be curious about your new moves, but we don't have time to master them. For now, take the week off to relax, take it easy, you can even help me pick up some of these sexy ladies. Right, one last thing, I won't be here until after your exam, so don't come looking for me. Master Roshi gave Izuku a small push. You never changed, you. Anyway, thanks, I'll take it easy this week. Izuku said thankfully. Izuku bowed slightly and began to run home. Before he left, he decided to turn around and smiled at what he saw. There stood Master Roshi staring out at the sunset on the horizon. Chance meeting. Izuku was bored. Really bored. He now had the whole week off thanks to Master Roshi. All he did was lay down on the couch. Maybe I should go train by myself just for this week. No, I rather not. No use in torturing my body, I'm not going to get any stronger. Screw it, I'll go for a walk. Hey Mom, I'm going out for a walk. Izuku said, grabbing his jacket. All right sweetie, just make sure to come back before dinner, Inko said, and Izuku walked out the door. Once alone, she could only think back to her husband's words. Listen, there will come a time when Izuku will become a great and powerful warrior, don't let him get corrupted by that power. I don't know if I'll come back, but know this, I'll always love the both of you. Please be okay, Inko said worriedly. Izuku knew Master Roshi wasn't at the beach, but he would go and meditate there anyway. As he was walking, he thought to himself, Goku gave me some of his old move set. Maybe I can try some of them, and, before he could finish his train of thought, he crashed into someone, knocking the other person to the ground. Izuku was surprised to say the least. I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. Here, let me help you up. He extended his hand out to help the person up. Thanks, and I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention to what was, or in this case who was in front of me. As the person grabbed onto Izuku's hand, they both paused for 1 second to look at each other. Wow, he's cute. Both echoed in each other's head. Regaining their composures, they both kinda stared at each other. After a few more seconds of awkward silence, she decided to talk. I'm sorry, I should introduce myself. My name is Ochako Uraraka, it's nice to meet you. She smiled. Izuku froze. He was already a shy kid to begin with, but a girl was actually talking to him. Izuku Midoriya, and sorry again for bumping into you, he said nervously, bowing slightly. No, it's fine really, Uraraka said, slight blushing in embarrassment of the current situation. Izuku had to make it up to her. Hey, do you want to go grab a coffee of something? Izuku couldn't believe what he had just said, and so calmly. It's 'cause I still feel bad for knocking you down, even if it was on accident. he said quickly, waving his hands in front of him to cover up his red face. "I'd like that," is all he heard from behind his hands. Looking back at her, Izuku was surprised to see that Uraraka was equally as red as he was. Alright, I know just the place, it's only about a 5-minute walk from here. Come on, let's go, said Izuku. As the two of them walked, people on the sidewalk couldn't help but think how cute they looked together. Finally arriving at the coffee shop, they both placed their orders. Izuku paid after some back and forth with Uraraka. Once their drinks were ready, so they decided to find a place outside to sit. After a brief awkward silence between them, Uraraka broke the silence. "Sue, do you live around here? Really? That's the best you can come up with, brain." Uraraka wanted to punch herself. Why yeah, I live just a couple blocks away. I found out about this place after a training session with my master to get into UA, said Izuku, taking another sip of his coffee. "You want to go to UA? That's awesome, me too. So what's your quirk? I bet it's awesome," Uraraka said with excitement. "Oh, my quirk is called Ki Control. I can control my body's natural energy and use it for offensive or defensive moves. I can also could sense other key sources. Look, I'll show you," he said, forming a small green ball of energy in the palm of his hand. Uraraka could only use one word to describe what she was seeing: beautiful, were the only words that left her mouth. Closing the palm of his hand, he let the energy disappear. "So that's my quirk. What's your quirk?" asked Izuku, curious as to what type of quirk she had. "Oh, it's nothing too special. But you see these little pads on my hands," she said, raising her hands so Izuku can see. "If I touch an object, be it a person or a car, with all 5 fingers, I can cancel its gravity and make it float," she said, slightly blushing when she saw Izuku's face, which was filled with excitement. "Wow, that's amazing. So do you a weight limit? Can you make more than one thing float? What about yourself?" Izuku started to mumble out loud really quickly, which caught Uraraka off guard. "Whoa, slow down," she said. Noticing the other people in the coffee shop look at them, she began to feel embarrassed and tried to make him stop. "Izuku, you're kind of mumbling. People are staring," she said, turning slightly red. Izuku quickly snapped out of it when he saw her turn red. "Sorry about that bad habit of mine," he said, chuckling nervously, turning slightly red. It's fine really, it shows how excited you are to learn about quirks. Anyway, I'm sure with a quirk like that you will definitely get into UA," she said, trying to change the topic. "I hope so. I haven't had much time to practice with my quirk since I recently found out what it can actually do. Before then, people used to tease me for having a useless quirk. Even my best friend called me Deku, which means useless," Izuku said, looking down at his cup. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up something uncomfortable for you. But you know what, I like the name Deku, it almost sounds like the meaning for, you can do it," she said, trying to cheer up Izuku. "Huh, I never thought of it that way, Uraraka. Thanks, you can call me Deku if you want to. Now that you changed the meaning of it, I kinda like it," he said, smiling. Uraraka blushed when he told her this. She didn't know why, but he made her feel warm and welcomed. Izuku and Uraraka both just started to chat about random stuff. As they finished their coffees, they decided to go for a walk near the beach. Soon minutes turned to hours, and after a few hours they both noticed how late it had actually become, and both decided it was time to head home. But first, "Hey Deku, I was wondering if I can have your number. You know, so we can keep in touch before the entrance exam," said Uraraka, blushing slightly. Izuku just stood there with a blank expression on his face. "Why yeah, sure, here," he said, pulling out his phone. She quickly took it and added her number. Giving back his phone, she turned around ready to leave but stopped. I'll text you later. Bye Deku, it was nice talking to you. Bye. Oh god, I just got a girl's number. Izuku thought to himself as he waved as she began to run off into the distance. He decided it was about time he head home too. After enjoying dinner with his mother, we went to room to relax and read over his notebooks. A few minutes later there was a knock on his door. Izuku, can we talk? It was his mother. That's strange, she sounds very serious and nervous all of a sudden. I wonder what's wrong. Izuku started to get scared hearing her tone. Yeah mom, come on in, the door is unlocked. Once inside his room she sat down on his desk chair while he sat on the bed. Listen Izuku, I know these last couple of years have been rough on you. I know how much you want to be a hero, but I'm your mother, and as your mother, I can't help but worry what might happen to you during the exam. Inko said, fighting back the tears. I know you have been training, I won't ask with who, but I know you have gotten stronger, but the human body can only go so far without a good quirk, and Inko tried to finish but was cut off by Izuku. I know mom, but if I don't try then what's the point of me being here? If I fail then I could just go for the general course, but please mom don't worry, if it's one thing I'm confident in right now it's my strength, said Izuku smiling at his mother. Inko began to cry, unable to hold back her tears. Oh Izuku, you remind me so much of your father, she said to Izuku, pulling him in for a hug. Izuku couldn't help but ask, who is my father? And why don't you even talk about him mom? Izuku said, pulling away from the hug. Inko sighed, I know you have questions and want answers, but I can't answer them right now. How about this? If you get into the hero course at UA then I'll answer all the questions you want, deal? Hearing this only strengthened his resolve to get into UA. Deal mom, Izuku said. Anyway, where did you go today? I thought you said went for a walk, asked Inko, curiosity. Oh, you know I did go to walk at the beach, Izuku said with a slight blush. Oh really? Then why did I find a receipt from a coffee shop with 2 names on it? Izuku and Uraraka. Is there something you want to tell me Izuku? Inko said, teasing poor Izuku. At this point Izuku was as red as a tomato. What, I thought I had that in my pocket. It must have fallen out, thought Izuku, yelling at himself. Oh, you know, just a friend from school. Anyway, I should head to bed. It's getting late, don't you think mom? Said Izuku, quickly trying to change the subject. Oh well then, looks like you're not going to talk, but Izuku, just be careful, okay? Izuku could only nod, questioning why she would say to be careful. As tiredness began to take over, Izuku went to bed happy with today's events. Meeting Uraraka was nice. Maybe we should hang out before the exam. Nah, we should both focus on the exam. I'll text her in the morning to see how C is doing, thought Izuku as a small blush began to form. After a little while he had fully gone to sleep. Izuku would soon be taking the entrance exam at UA. The worries of passing began to hit him as the days went on. Izuku got the courage to call Uraraka. This helped him calm his nerves down. He didn't know why, but just being able to talk to her was enough to make him happy. Unknown location. As the moon began to rise and its light began to fall on the land, a human-looking shadow began to rise from the ground. Pulling itself out of the ground, its face began to be lit by the moon. A smile began to form, a twisted one. As the moonlight shined across the figure's face, it revealed red eyes that rivaled the very earth's magma in color. Soon it will make its move, soon it will take its place above all others, soon there will be no stopping it. Its eyes began to glow red, and with a twisted smile it spoke only a single word, soon. Exam day. 1 week later. Day of the exam. The week leading up to the exam was uneventful aside from texting Uraraka almost every day. They started to build up a friendship, in Izuku's case maybe more like a crush. Regardless, they got along and planned to meet up in front of the gate of Ua before the exam. This was it, the day Izuku was waiting for. This day would either begin his journey to become a hero or break it. He was ready no matter what the outcome was. But it was about to start off a bit rough when he spotted Kacchan, who made a beeline straight at Izuku. Izuku knew he wouldn't start anything, but he can feel his menacing ki. "What the hell are you doing here, Deku? Didn't I tell you I would be the only one to apply and get into Ua?" screamed Kacchan. Izuku was scared, but training with Master Roshi and the short amount of time he was talking with Uraraka made him a little more confident. This time he would say something instead of cowering in fear and saying nothing. Listen here, Kacchan. I have every right to be here and take the exam. If you want to settle our differences we can do that, but not today." Izuku surprised himself with what he just said. Kacchan said nothing when he started to walk away, but Izuku felt the killing intent oozing out of him. After a few seconds of collecting himself, he felt a slight tapping on his shoulder. Turning around, he was met by Uraraka's face. "Hey Deku, are you ready to do this?" she said eagerly. "Hey Uraraka, and yes I am, come on, let's go inside," he said, walking side by side towards the auditorium. Walking in, Izuku sensed strong ki all around him. Someone who caught his attention was a boy with half white and half red hair. I should keep an eye on him. He can be a great rival for me in the future," Izuku thought as himself and Uraraka found some empty seats. Suddenly the pro hero present Mike walked onto the stage. "Hello future heroes. Who's excited to take the entrance exam? Can I get a hell yeah?" Present Mike said, hoping for a response from the crowd. Complete silence fell around the auditorium. "Wow, tough crowd," Present Mike said, disappointed. "Oh well, let's get down to business. Today you will take 2 tests. One exam consisting of hero questions, and secondly we will test your quirks in a fight between robots. The robots have points ranging from 0 to 4, so the more you destroy the higher your score. But he warned there is a useless robot that is worth 0 points, so don't fight it. With that out of the way, let's get started." After taking the written exam, the students were separated into different areas. If you were in the same middle school you would be separated. This meant Kacchan would not be with Izuku. Lucky for him, Uraraka was in the same testing arena with Izuku. In front of Izuku and Uraraka there were 2 giant metal doors. The sheer size of the doors was more than enough to intimate. Uraraka looked at Izuku. "I'm really nervous, Deku. What if I don't get enough points?" she said as she began to sweat. Izuku had to calm her down, but how? That's when it hit him. Placing his hand on hers and slowly allowed his ki to engulf his hand in a green glow. Uraraka was shocked at first, but then felt a warm sensation on her hand, until her hands were also covered in the green glow. Uraraka blushed slightly when she felt the warm sensation, and truthfully, it began to calm her down. "So warm and comforting. Thanks Deku, I feel a lot better, thanks," said Uraraka, blushing as the other examines were staring at them. Izuku noticed as well and quickly pulled back his hand, turning red as a tomato. "And no problem, come on, relax, we got this." Uraraka nodded. Present Mike was ready to start. "All right everybody, get ready. Go," he yelled as the doors swung open. But no one moved. "What are you doing? There is no countdowns in real life, go go go," Mike said. Suddenly everyone started running towards the doors. Izuku and Uraraka quickly followed the group, only to see a giant fake city in front of them. Everyone went their separate ways trying to find the robots. Soon they emerged. Izuku couldn't read their power levels since they were not alive, but yet he ran in. Powering up as he went, soon a green glow began to surround him. Perfect a two-pointer, Izuku said, running towards the robot. Focusing his ki to his hand, he created a green ball and threw it towards the robot, destroying it. Nice, on to the next on. This went on for a while, taking out mostly 2 and 3 pointers either by ki blast or just punching it. Izuku was running out of ki. Damn, I'm tired, I must have used up too much energy. I need to learn when to put more or less power into my attacks when the situation calls for it. I have around 45 points, that should be more than enough, thought Izuku. In the observation room, 10 shadows were seen inside, with screens showing the different testing arenas. This year's batch have a lot of potential, said one shadow. Yes, but remember, we are looking for qualities other than power. Yes, power is important, but you also need speed and intelligence, but most important, you need the will to help people in danger. Speaking of which, release the Titan, said a rather small shadow, almost like a bear or a mouse. In the back of the room, there was an outline of a tall, muscular man. Maybe I will find the perfect person to take on the responsibility of being the next symbol of peace. This person should be a first year, so there will be enough time to train them. Back in the arena, having exhausted almost all of his ki, Izuku decided to take a breather on one of the nearby roofs. That's when the Titan emerged, standing well over 8 stories tall. With a powerful swing, it demolished one of the buildings. Then it slowly began to make its way towards a group of examines. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from that, said Izuku, turning around to leave. But that's when he heard it. Help me. It was coming in the direction of where the robot was heading. Izuku focused. This ki, it's familiar. Wait, is that Uraraka? Damn it, I need to help her, thought Izuku, jumping down from the building and running towards Uraraka. Once he got close enough, he noticed that her ankle was trapped under a cement pillar. Hey, are you okay? Said Izuku, stopping next to her. Yeah, but my ankle is stuck and I think it's broken. I can't use my quirk either, I'm already at my limit. Hurry, get out of here before you get crushed too, Uraraka said with pain in her voice. No, I'm going to save you because that's what heroes do, Izuku said, picking up the cement pillar from her ankle and tossing it aside. Sit tight, don't worry, I got this, he said, smiling before turning around to face the Titan. Do I got this? I am almost out of ki, and I'm sure I won't be able to punch it hard enough to break it. Wait, there is one thing I can do, thought Izuku. He knew what he had to do. Planting his feet to the ground, he prepared his attack. Green aura suddenly began to form around him, cupping his hand to his side. As the ground around him began to break apart, the floor rumbled. It all or nothing, let's hope I can do it. A green ball of energy formed in his hands, growing bigger and bigger with every passing second. Izuku knew it was time. Izuku looked back at the quickly approaching Titan, and with a gleam in his eyes he shouted out, Kamehameha! A green beam of energy fired out of Izuku's hands with so much force it kicked up the small debris around him. This powerful attack went straight at the Titan. As the green beam got closer, the Titan raised its arm trying to block the attack, but it was not quick enough. It pierced the Titan's upper armor and went straight through it, leaving a hole in the Titan. After a few seconds, the Titan began to fall apart. Tiny explosions then followed by the whole upper body fell off, crashing into the ground. Everyone on the ground all had their jaws hit the floor. This display of power left them lost for words. Only Uraraka could muster up a single word: incredible. A tall boy with glasses was also lost from words but had plenty to say in his mind. That was amazing, but why didn't he run away like the rest of us? Wait, he went to save that girl, but why? Was there another part of the exam that the rest of us missed? Izuku was breathing hard. He put every last bit of energy he had left into that attack. Yes, I did it, is all he could say before blacking out and hitting the ground hard face first, having exhausted all of his ki. Test Arena 5. Bakugo was blowing up another three-pointer when the giant green beam of Urguri shot across the sky. What the hell is that? He wondered, amazed by it. It seems I am not the only strong one here. This year is going to be very interesting, he said, going back to blow up some more robots. Observation room. What the heck was that? Said the shadow with a scarf around his neck. The mouse-looking shadow was just as surprised as the others were. Then he spoke. It appears that young man just one-shot the Titan, and while rescuing that girl, no less. It looks like his name is Izuku Midoriya. Looks like we have a hero in the making, said the female shadow. The buff shadow just stared at the collapsed kid. Could he be the one I am looking for? He said with a smile. Arena. Uraraka tried to stand but failed. She needed to get to where Izuku was to check on him. With the help of a metal pole she found, she managed to push herself up while using the metal pole as a cane and limped her way to him. What she saw was something she will always remember. Izuku had the biggest smile on his face. Sighing, she couldn't help but smile as well. Oh Izuku, you idiot, thank you, I won't forget this. Just then an alarm was heard indicating the end of the exam. All right everybody, good work. Now if you are injured please tell me now so I can help you, said an old short-looking woman with a needle-shaped cane. Who's that? Asked one of the students. That is the youthful heroine, known as Recovery Girl. She can heal anyone with a kiss, said a French-looking student. Walking up to Uraraka and Izuku, who was still knocked out, she asked, "Are you all right, dear?" "Your ankle." "I'm fine, I think my ankle is broken," said Uraraka, looking at her ankle. Without a second thought she kissed Uraraka on the forehead and instantly her ankle was fixed. "There you go sweetie, all better." Now to the other child. Shifting her attention on Izuku. "What is this? He looks completely fine. So why hasn't he woken up? He must have used all his energy in that final attack. All right miss, you have an anti-gravity quirk, right? Can you please use it on him and take him to the nurse's office?" Uraraka nodded and did what she was told. Nurse's office. "Izuku Midoriya, wake up fool," said a voice. Izuku didn't recognize this voice. Opening his eyes he noticed he was back in the empty void like when he met Goku. "Who said that?" asked Izuku, looking around. Suddenly a man with tall spiky hair in a blue jumpsuit with gloves appeared in front of him. He was wearing some kind of armor. "Look at you exhausting all your energy in such a short amount of time, pathetic, and to think you are a Saiyan. Where is your Saiyan pride?" said the man, scolding Izuku. "Pathetic, listen here boy, you are a Saiyan so act like one. That clown Kakarot didn't tell you anything. You are expelling out too much energy when you power up. All that energy could be used to fight for longer periods of time. Learn to control your power output, then learn to use that reserve energy when you need to," the man said, almost screaming at the poor boy. Izuku was dumbfounded. Why didn't he think about that? Now wake up and next time we met I'll teach you more. With that a white flash of light engulfed Izuku. Izuku opened his eyes to find out he was staring at a ceiling. "Where am I?" "A hospital, a nurse's office," he said softly. As he tried to get up he was quickly stopped by Uraraka, who was waiting for him to wake up. "Hey, slow down, you need to rest." Her calming voice made Izuku fall back onto the bed. "What happened, Uraraka? I remember going to help you but that's it," he said, trying to remember what happened. "You don't remember? Well, after you came rushing to help me, you took down the Titan in one shot with a beam of energy. After that you collapsed and we brought you here," she said, trying to copy the Kamehameha. Suddenly the old lady walked in. "She's right, son, you should rest now, and you," pointing at Uraraka, "you should head home, it's getting late. Don't worry about him, he will be all right," she said, trying to reassure her. "Go, it'll be fine now, Uraraka, I'll text you later, all right," said Izuku, reassuring her. "All right, but you better text me," she said, waving as she made her way out. "You got a good girlfriend there, son," Recovery Girl teased him. It's not like that. But maybe one day," he said, blushing at what she had said. "Anyway, I couldn't heal you because my quirk requires the body's energy to heal, and seeing that you had no energy, it would have been dangerous to heal you. You should be fine now if I heal you. Just be careful from now on, all right?" Recovery scolded him. "Yes, ma'am," Izuku replied, kissing him, and once fully energized, Izuku was allowed to leave. On the trip back home he had time to think about what had happened today. "Hopefully I passed, but I won't know until I get the results back. More importantly, who was that other man? He had to be another Saiyan. I have to train harder, I need strength to protect people." Now more determined than ever, Izuku knew what he had to do. Results. A few days have passed by and still nothing. Izuku was starting to get scared. What if they wrote my address wrong? What if it got lost in the mail? What if I did so bad that they didn't bother writing me? I need to go lay down. Izuku's thoughts were running wild again. Izuku sat at home waiting for the letter to arrive. He had texted Uraraka right after the exam. They had planned to meet up and open their letters together. As he went to his room, his mother suddenly ran inside the house holding what appeared to be a letter. "Izuku, it's here," she panicked as he placed the letter in his hand. Izuku stared at the letter, too afraid to open it. "Well, aren't you going to open it?" asked his mother. Snapping back to reality, "Oh sorry mom, me and Uraraka decided on meeting up and opening them together," Izuku replied. "Oh Izuku, such a ladies' man, I see. So who is she?" teased his mother. "Well, all right then, what are you waiting for? Go," she said, almost pushing him out the door. Izuku called Uraraka to see if she received the letter as well, which she did. The place they decided to meet up was at the same cafe as before. As Izuku arrived, he noticed that Uraraka was already sitting down at a table with 2 cups of coffee. "Hey Uraraka," said Izuku, taking a seat across from her. "Hey Deku, I ordered for you already, hope you don't mind." Izuku didn't mind, in fact she got exactly what he liked. "Before we see if we passed, Deku, I want to thank you for what you did during the exam," she said, bowing slightly. Izuku blushed. It's okay Uraraka, just looking out for a friend, you know." "Anyway, you ready to find out if we passed or not?" asked Izuku. "And no, not really, I'm still really nervous. You know what, let's open the letters at the same time, that way we see each other's result if we passed or failed, what do you say?" asked Uraraka nervously. "Sure, let's do it. Honestly, I'm really nervous myself," he chuckled nervously. Finally opening the letters simultaneously, they were a little surprised to see that what appeared to be discs fall out. Safe to say they were both really confused. The 2 discs suddenly began to be pulled together, and with a quick motion they were joined together, forming one disc. After a few seconds, a hologram projection appeared on both of the discs. It was All Might. "Hello there, young heroes, it is me, All Might. I know what you are thinking, what is All Might here?" Well, the answer is simple. You are looking at the newest teacher at UA. I will be teaching Hero Basics this year. Izuku couldn't believe what he was hearing. His favorite hero will be teaching at UA. Uraraka was just as surprised. Looking at Izuku, she couldn't help but laugh, noticing his big goofy smile. Anyway, on to the important Ochako Uraraka. We are happy to say that you have passed the written part of the exam. Now to the practical. Uraraka, you scored 38 villain points, not bad, but not good either. However, there is a second way to score points, we call it rescue points. And you earned 45 rescue points, for a total of 73 points. Congratulations, you pass and welcome to UA. Uraraka screeched in excitement. I did it, Deku. I made it to UA. She was so happy that she didn't notice that she got up and hugged Izuku. The customers outside the coffee shop stopped and stared at the pair, noticing how cute they looked together. That's great, Uraraka, I'm so happy for you. But can you please let me go, people are staring at us, he said, blushing red. Noticing what she was doing, she quickly let him go. Sorry, got a little carried away, she said, also blushing before going back to sit down. Now let's see how young Midoriya did. For the written part you passed as well. As for the practical part, you young man earned 45 villain points, not bad. But you also earned rescue points, 60 rescue points. Not only did you save Miss Uraraka, but you were the only person who ran at the Titan to try and stop it. Not only that, but it seems you sacrificed all the power you had left in order to defeat it. That is something that this school can't ignore. Bringing your total to 105 points, beating everyone and taking first place in the exam. Congratulations, young man, you passed and earned a spot at UA. I expect great things from you, young man. That it all? So long. As the projection disappeared, Izuku let out the biggest sigh of relief. I did it. Uraraka, I got in too, he said, trying to fight back the tears of joy. Well, I guess this means I'll get to see you more frequently, huh? She said, smiling. Why, yeah, I still can't believe we both made it, Izuku said, blushing slightly. Anyway, I need to get home, it's getting late. I'll see you in school, alright, bye. Uraraka waved as she left. As Izuku was walking home, he started to think about the deal he made with his mother. He had so much he wanted to know, so much to ask. Where did he even begin? But what bothered him the most is what would the answers to his questions would be. What if I don't ask the right questions? What if I don't like the answers to my questions? Finally making it to his front door. Opening the door, he was immediately greeted by his mother. Oh, Izuku dear, welcome back. So don't keep your mother in suspense. Did you make it to UA? His mother questioned. I made it, Mom. I made it to UA, is all he could say before the tears started falling. That's great, Izuku. I am so happy for you. I always knew you can do it. She cried, but also thought back to the time when he was just a little kid. The doctor had just told him he had a useless quirk. Our baby boy has grown up so much, hasn't he? I bet you would be so proud of him. After a few minutes and lots of tissues later, they finally relaxed and sat on the couch. So Izuku, as I promised, I know you have questions about your father, so ask away, she said, preparing herself for the questions Izuku might have. This was it, all the questions he ever wanted answers, were about to be answered. Well, to start off with, who is my father? He asked, ready for her response. I think the best thing to do is to show you who he was, she said before getting up and going into her bedroom and returning with a picture. Handing it over to Izuku, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. This is my dad. Wow, he has the same freckles as I do and the same crazy hair, he smiled at the picture. This tall, freckled with spiky black-haired man was his father. Wait, is that a tail? Noticing something on the corner of the picture. Yes, it is. See, your father wasn't from around here, and well, he was. Before she could finish, Izuku finished the sentence. A Saiyan. Inko was shocked to say the least. How did he know? I'm sure I never told him anything. Then how? Knowing that she had nothing else to hide from him, she sighed. Yes, yes, he was. But Izuku, how did you know? I met someone who knew who I was. I know I am half Saiyan. So tell me, Mom, how did you meet Dad? He asked, still looking at the picture. You know how I grew up in the countryside, right? Well, one day I was visiting your grandparents while I had the summer off from university. And one of the days I was there, I saw what looked like a shooting star, but I noticed that it was coming straight down and crashed in a nearby field. So I went to look, and what I found was a strange-looking ship. It was a weird ball-shaped object. I went into the crater it created to get a closer look. To my surprise, I saw a man through the window of the ship. She was interrupted by Izuku. It was Dad, wasn't it? He asked. Yes, it was. When the pod opened, he was badly injured and bleeding all over the place. I decided to take him back to my parents' garage where I can nurse him back to health. His recovery was slow and took months to fully recover, and within those months we fell in love, and well, you came into our lives. Sadly, shortly after you were born, he had to leave us. I'll never forget the day when he told me he was leaving. His face was so filled with worry, he couldn't say where he was going because according to him it would put both of us in danger. However, before leaving me left me a note saying 3 things. 1. Was to make sure to cut your tail. 2. To never let you stare at the full moon. 3. That he loved both of us and that he'd hoped he would come back to us one day, Inko said, hoping that Izuku will understand. I had a tail. And why can't I stare at the full moon? Izuku said in shock to the news he had just received. Inko chuckled, seeing her son like this reminded her of him. Oh, Izuku, so much like your father. All right, Mom, I have one last question. What was my father's name? Izuku said, looking at his mother. Eskar. He was a powerful man, always eager to fight, but calm when he needed to be. He also mumbled when he got too excited. Kinda how you do. Inko smiled, remembering her husband. I see. Thanks, Mom, this really means a lot to me, he said, going to hug his mother. You're welcome, Izuku. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask me, she said, holding his closer. After going to bed, Izuku sat on his bed thinking about what he just heard. Wow, this is a lot to take in. Still can't believe Dad was an alien. That makes me half human. Suddenly Izuku stood up, sensing a familiar energy. He's back. Master Roshi is back. I'll have to see him at the beach tomorrow. But something is wrong, it feels like he's gotten weaker. Izuku decided to ask Master Roshi what was wrong tomorrow. Now it was time to rest. Tilda Ua, principal's office. Are you sure about this, All Might? Said a small little bear, mouse-looking animal in a suit. Positive, Principal Nezu, All Might said. Nezu thought about it for a good long while. Sighing, he said, very well, it is your choice and I must respect that, but what makes you positive that he will accept? All Might knew that it wasn't a for sure thing, but I have this gut feeling, I can't really explain it. Smiling, he looked straight at All Might. I never questioned your gut feelings and I won't start now. So when do you plan to approach the boy? Asked Nezu. I believe that I still have to see what the boy can do, so I will wait half of the school to make my choice. Said All Might, closing the file that read Izuku Midoriya on the front.